Hi everyone and welcome back again to Serious Sunday. I'm your host Luke, and this is the show where I talk about video games and things. This week, Quakecon happened, and there has been an awful lot undoubtedly going on, mostly around championships and updated information about sequels to Evil Within, Wolfenstein and Dishonored, and Quake, as well as a handful of VR ports of popular titles. But I'll be the first to admit that I've actually been woefully underinformed, as I haven't been following it very closely. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy most, if not all, of Bethesda's properties, and am casually interested in everything I just mentioned above, though I have serious doubts I'll ever be able to enjoy an FPS in VR until walking harness technology gets a whole lot better. But for me, the highlight of QuakeCon this year was not the brand new stuff, but the old. Like, very old, in video game terms at least. You see, this week, as part of the QuakeCon deals that are going on all over the video game marketplace space, a bunch of old id games have gone on sale, and among them, most notably, was one of my most heavily played games when I was in high school and into community college before I moved to Japan, Quake II. More appropriately, the release of the Quake II Quad Damage Edition on GOG.com that has completely ruined my plans of getting some important errands done this weekend. I played the ever-loving shit out of Quake II when I was younger. I enjoyed the original Quake immensely, and being a Nine Inch Nails fan, loved the soundtrack, and I respect how Quake really kicked the FPS genre forward another major step, but its sequel, despite being generally less well-loved than the first in the series, was always my favorite. Half-Life is sort of remembered as being the most significant, big, non-hybrid FPS to break ground in narrative in the late 90s, with its more involved storytelling, front-loaded though it was, but it was far from being the first. You'd be excused for not remembering, as it was certainly no masterpiece, but Quake II, for nearly a full year prior to Half-Life's release, also managed to varying degrees of success, inject a story into a genre that was, to that point, little more than a whole lot of blood, guts, and explosions. The plot wasn't breaking ground, nor did ultimately its storyline really grab the attention of the general gaming public in any overly memorable way, as evidenced by its lunch being all but entirely eaten by Half-Life a year later, but in all its subtlety through placement of corpses and staticky communique from other squads through the game, it told a fairly passable story that I remember enjoying a surprising amount. That's what really grabbed me and kept my attention, to even a year or so later. And it was after I'd entered community college, though, that Quake II really switched from casually enjoyed game to one of my all-time favorites with the introduction of a mod called Action Quake II that completely changed the rules of the game by vastly improving the lethality of headshots and other locational hits, adding realistic modern weaponry, and turned the sci-fantasy shooter into a John Woo-inspired Hollywood shoot-'em-up. Action Quake made its already pretty damned fun deathmatches into insane and tense cat-and-mouse games that I played nearly daily with my best friend in ad hoc LAN games in the community college cafeteria. Long ago, the Action Quake site disappeared, and I was sure that it had been lost in the sands of time, so you can imagine my delight to find that finally I've been reunited with a great old friend in the Extremities mods section of the Quad Damage Edition. Since I picked it up, and between editing videos, doing housework, and grocery shopping this weekend, I've been fiddling with field of view modding to reduce the motion sickness the game gives me, and upgrading textures and game resolution to something that feels a little bit more modern. And I'm looking forward to finally getting my Quake on again this weekend, before I go on a 2-week-long vacation. So if you're interested in Quake II, I suggest that you hoof it over to GOG to grab it while it's on sale for a little over $3 Canadian, and go see what FPSs in the late 90s were all about. I don't think you'll regret it. And that's all that I have this week. Short and sweet, not super relevant, but hey, whatever. A quick note though, I'm going on vacation from September 2nd for 2 weeks and change. What this means for the channel is maybe nothing. I've already built a backlog of Let's Play videos that will air automatically, but there's a chance that I might miss a Serious Sunday or two unless I can dragoon one of the other NPCs into recording for me. I'm going to try to put something together to air, but I like to be timely in the case of something interesting happening, so since I'll almost certainly not be watching game news, I apologize in advance if something is missed. You know, if for some reason Serious Sunday is your jam and you'll miss it. Anyhow, thank you as always for joining me. I always appreciate your viewership, and I do hope that you'll join us again next time. Until then, though, take care.